So often people ask me, how do you top rope solo? This time I was at Titan River Crag, and I didn't have a climbing partner, so I decided to top rope solo. So I scrambled up the rock. I found out there was a trail that I could scramble up to get access to the top of the climb where I would find a station. So this is what I'm doing right now. Just kind of finding my way, scrambling on the rocks. It's unfamiliar to me, so it took me a while to find the way. You have to be careful of rattlesnakes there too this time of the year. So I'm just kind of walking around, just kind of looking for it. And I saw this white deposits or paint, I thought it was, which actually that's where the station was. I thought it was marked, but my friend told me that it's actually mineral deposits on the rock, so it had nothing to do with anybody marking the station. So I found the station by pure chance. So I'm just flaking my rope now. I got this station that is basically a bunch of slings wrapped around a rock. So I decided to trust it because there were several slings there. So I kind of inspected it. Usually I prefer to use station that includes chains, bolts and chains, which is much more secure. But this time I decided to trust it. As you see, there's a bunch of slings wrapped around, so it's pretty trustworthy to rappel on. And I found there was a locking carabiner and a non-locking carabiner also, so which made me feel a little bit more comfortable too, that somebody actually has been using it and they were in good condition. So what I'm doing is I'm threading the rope right now through those two, as I am attached to my PAS device. I'm attached to the station for safety. So what I did right now, I put myself on rappel. I fixed the rope. As you see, I put a figure 8 on a locking carabiner, which I attached. I put my rope through the locking beaner and a non-locking beaner that existed, which is fixed. So I fixed it so that I could not pull on either of the ropes. So both lines would become fixed, both sides of the rope. And I need that set up for top rope solo. So I'm just checking everything, making sure everything is redundant, and there I go. I'm on rappel. Rappelling now. So as I'm going down, I'm also looking at the quality of rock. I'm making sure I'm not knocking off any loose stuff. I'm not, I'm just kind of inspecting anything, and just I wasn't sure about the grade. This is a 5.7. This is a double crack, twin crack, 5.7 trad climb. I thought it was higher grade because it looked steep to me, but it was actually only 5.7, and I ended up leading it later. When I had some friends to come in and climb with me, I ended up leading it, which was a very, very nice, very well protected climb. So you could protect it on either of the cracks. It gets a little bit wide, so you may need a number 4 to protect it, but it wasn't that bad at all. It was very well protectable, and there was a lot of friction in this crack. I'm checking it to make sure that I kind of know what's going on. There's a climb that I'm showing right now to the right. It's like an overhanging. That's a 5.9. That's a really good one. I was just showing. Putting my shoes on. getting ready to go. So I have two fixed lines and I have them kind of coiled in the bottom. So I have a mini traction and the Ushba. So one side is mini traction and one side is Ushba. And here I am just ready to go. I have my helmet on, but I put my helmet on, so always wear helmet. In this case, I'm actually wearing helmet and GoPro on top of it to take a video. So I'm climbing. So on one side, on one strand here, I have Ushba, which is a Russian-made ascender, essentially. It's a self-feeding ascender. It's very convenient. It doesn't have teeth, so it doesn't damage the rope when it bites on it. The other one is mini traction, and I usually use a gree on the other side of the rope for redundancy, but this time I decided to use mini traction, and it wasn't really feeding that well either. So I had to feed it at least for the first part of the climb. So ultimately the goal is to have both devices feed below you. And I still haven't figured out how much to weigh down to make sure it feeds properly the whole way. Which when it feeds, it needs to kind of trail below you. And sometimes I'm not really super comfortable with that. So I kind of, if it's a hard section for me, I think I might fall. I would rather not fall and load up the rope on a certain section. So that's why I feed it by hand, and that's mini traction that's not feeding well at this point. It started doing better once I come up a little bit higher, so there's more weight on the rope. So I think I need to just weigh the rope a little bit more. So I'm jamming. That's a wide side over there, so my whole knee went in that one, and my shoulder. You have to wear long sleeves in that one if you really want to use your whole body in it. So I'm kind of checking with my holds, and at the same time it's a combination of things like footholds, hand holds, and then I'm hand feeding it, so it's a little bit strenuous. I was having a little bit of a hard time there because I'm not that super comfortable. I mean, I'm comfortable with rope soloing like that, but sometimes it gets sketched out, so I keep feeding it, where I should just let it feed itself. And at this point I'm already like 2/3 of the way. I shouldn't even be feeding it, but this is where it got a little steep. Actually, when I was leading it, this is where I also felt a little bit sketchy. This is like a little bit of a steep section with some loose rocks at the top, but it was all fine. It was a very good section there, actually, well protected too. We just need a number 2, maybe a number 3 too also. I have now totems, so I put a couple of totems there in the smaller cracks over there. It seems like it's like super stiff right now, but it's not actually. So there's my setup. You see a mini traction and a Ushba, and this is beautiful scenery. Just kind of, I'm at the top, I'm at the station, just kind of enjoying the view, Titan River, and I'm rappelling now. So I removed my carabiner, my locker, and I am just right now on the fixed gear, which was already there. And so at the top, I am now on a like a rappel setup, or like a belayer top rope setup. So I wouldn't be able to solo on this setup because it's not fixed, but I have to be able to pull the rope down. So that's why I unfixed it, and that was easily done because all I had to do is just take out my locker, and you see there's a lot of beautiful cracks and beautiful climbs everywhere.